All right. Hey there, internet. What's up? I had this idea to see if I could do like a post-game analysis of my 2000 point match last night against the Dark Angels. I always think it's uh, part of deliberate practice, which is the best way to improve at a skill, is to not only do the thing, do the skill 10,000 times or whatever, but also to reflect on the experience and try to identify some feedback either personally or from others, and then try to incorporate that into the next attempt. So I thought this could be a fun way for me to review my play, critically about what I did, what I got right, what I got wrong, some ideas for next time, or maybe experiment with some different considerations. But then also share this out to the world and see if some other people have some ideas on how to do things better or different or whatever. So first caveat, this is my first time doing this, my first time recording with OBS, first time recording on this particular computer. It's the test seems to be working, the audio seems to be working, but I don't know what I don't know. I don't know any of these buttons in this OBS software, anything, so things could be good, bad, stupid otherwise. We'll just have to kind of roll with it for now until I get more experience. Um, and then secondly, well, I'll get to that a bit later, but let me start from the start. So it was myself as the Orks here against my opponent was Dark Angels. I was playing the Battlewagon detachment, what's it called? Blitz Brigade, my first time using it. And unfortunately, I don't recall exactly what my opponent was using. I have the list here. I could look it up. Bastion Task Force, whatever that means here. So a couple notes about this game. I'm going to replay it from the best that I can remember. It was last night, so it should be mostly fresh. Um, we were playing at a not our normal venue that we play at, so there were a couple of differences there um, that will affect kind of what I've put up here for the battle and everything. Number one, um, the terrain that we used was not official Games Workshop terrain. It was, I don't know, some cool kind of feudal village, medieval village, with lots of castles and towers and archways and things like that. So it looked really cool, but it was not, it didn't necessarily match the sizes or uh, the placement of walls and the lower terrain and so on. So we did our best to try to lay this out as is. However, it was not exactly one for one perfect. So, um, but I do believe, hey, you play the terrain you have. You don't make use that as an excuse. So I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just saying that what I'm going to show on the map that we did play, which was layout 6, was not actually might probably looked a bit different, was definitely different on the table from what's being represented here. But whatever, it's going to be close enough to for these purposes here. Secondly, this was my first time using this attachment. I did very little research ahead of time just because I was busy with other stuff. So no doubt I missed a lot of things, stratagems, whatever that could have changed the outcome of the game, and so on. So we'll just have to just be aware of that, because there's probably lots of mistakes I made, and someone who is more familiar with this will probably say, "Hey, you idiot! Why didn't you do this?" Well, it was because I either forgot about it or didn't know about it or was tired and wasn't thinking, whatever. Um, and I guess thirdly, I did my best to. So this was definitely my deployment here. This is my opponent's deployment. I'm not as familiar with Dark Angels, um, or the Space Marine vehicles or units or anything like that. So I put what I remembered. I have a copy list here, but I put what I remembered in the right places. Uh, there are definitely some things missing, but I think most of them were inside the vehicle. So I think there were some um, uh, assault intercessors and more intercessors, whatever, that were inside each of these transports. I'm uh, I'm not going to put them on here because I don't remember which one was which, and um, I'll explain in a moment. But they didn't actually make it on the table, so it's kind of irrelevant at this point. When I guess the other thing with the venue we were at, they closed a little bit earlier than the normal venue we go to, so unfortunately we did not get to play the full game. I think we called it as a draw or whatever around end of turn two. Pardon me, round two. And so we didn't really get to finish it off, but I'll again do my best to explain it here. So that all being said, I'm going to walk through everything from deployments and missions and the moves I made and the moves my opponent made, and just kind of analyze what uh, how the outcome was, where I think I could have done better, maybe hopefully get some other people to tell me what was going on here. Okay, so terrain, this was layout 6 in Pry Nexus. The primary was supply drop, which this may have been my first time playing supply drop, but pretty simple. You get VPs for being on these points, and unfortunately, I don't remember if you get VPs for being on your home objective, but definitely the ones in No Man's Land, and then I think this one was Alpha, or this one was Gamma objective, and so those were going to be burned and removed at the end of round 4, round 5, whatever. Anyways, doesn't matter because we never made it that far. Okay, so I was attacker. My opponent was defender, so he deployed first. I'm not going to go deployment up by deployment, but this is more or less what he set up, and I'll kind of explain why I set things up, or why I deployed things the way I did here. I guess I'll also stay here that so I had 2 battle wagons, 2 trucks. This battle wagon had the 20 boys inside it. This battle wagon had Gaz and 17 boys. This truck had the Big Mac and Mega Armor and the 5 Mega Knobs. This truck had the 5 Flash Kits. And then I think this one also had a mech, and this one had a mech. I won't put them on because they're kind of inconsequential, but just be aware that those extra units were in here. They did come out to use their mechanic ability at certain times. Okay, so with that being said, I know for this particular attachment, it's about speed. It's about getting your transports up the board as fast as possible to take the objective. So I want to play aggressive. I want to play fast. And I forgot to mention, I forget the name of the whatever it is, the card where you do the deployments and everything. It was whatever, the one where you have, I think, 18 inches to on the left side to the midpoint, and then down here I think was 8 or something like that. So that's why these ones are a little bit ahead. Okay, so moving on. My plan was okay, I want to try to be aggressive, get on these points. I kind of figured meta-wise this was going to be a tough fight. This list would probably win against this list just because there's a lot of intercessors with lots of bolt guns, and these vehicles I knew were probably going to be. I didn't really have a lot of strong anti-vehicle stuff except for the mega knobs. So my goal was to really focus on winning on points rather than just trying to clear the destroy the enemy entirely. Okay, so my deployments and my plan was get this battle wagon up to this point fast as possible, get this battle wagon with Yaz onto this battle point. I figured I'd put Gaz in the middle, then that way the Makari aura could try to take advantage of as many units as possible here. So I think these 2 guys went down first. Eventually, I think I have these right. Again, I don't know the exact units and models, but this one I think is right. This was the big scary tank, or pardon me, the big scary transport tank, whatever. These I might have backwards. I don't exactly remember, but I don't think it was too consequential. But once my opponent deployed this, I said that I need to get my big anti-tank threat up there, which is the big mech and mega armor with the 5 mega knobs. And then over here, the opponent deployed a lot of kind of just infantry dudes. And so okay, this is perfect. Flash kits are great for anti-infantry. These kilocans, there were 3 each, and they all had rocket launchers. So I know they're reasonable, good strength. So good against. I could probably get wounding on 2s against the intercessors because I think they have a toughness of 4. And these are strength 9. So between good wound rolls and yes, so the cans with blast with the strong wound roll I think would be good against all these terminators and intercessors and stuff. And then again, the flash gets great shooting. Plan for the Gretchen was just to, as best as possible, try to screen these cans, try to get on these points, and generate some CP. And I think that was about it for deployment. Okay, round 1. I rolled a 6. I chose to go first, again, because I wanted to be aggressive and get on these points early. After the match, I kind of thought maybe that wasn't the best idea because that would leave me really exposed. But in hindsight, I think it might have actually made more sense, and I'll get into that a bit later. But oh, and I guess the other thing here is the Battlewagons. They had what the cannon, the 4 big shooters, all that stuff. So they didn't really have any. I didn't put them with the zap guns, which would have been, I guess, okay for dealing with these vehicles, and maybe next time I would consider that. I don't know, a bit. The advice I was told is that look, their battlewagon shooting sucks anyways, so just focus on it being a super hard transport. I did give them hard case, so they had an extra 2 toughness, so these were both toughness 12, which actually I think helped out in a number of situations. Okay, so round 1, this moved up. I think I advanced this battle wagon up to about here. This battle wagon I did not advance because I wanted to shoot, so I kind of got up here, I think. The truck I think came behind. This truck I think went this way. Don't I guess don't worry too much about the gaps and everything here or the size of these things. This is just for modeling purposes. Everything moved and fit the way it was supposed to. But of course, I don't know. I'm just doing this quick in this LibreOffice Impress, so don't sweat if you're. Don't be like, oh hey, this truck was too fat to fit through here, idiot. But don't sweat that. Okay, so these Gretchen I think advanced to about here. These Gretchen advanced to about here, and then these cans I think kind of walked up to about there, something like that. Well, I guess I should fix this. So everyone here was behind the terrain, so they were not visible. There was really nothing for me to shoot except for the repulsor executioner here. So I just took my time to advance. These cans here, I think I wanted my Gretchen to screen them, but the way I always end up doing this is I put the Gretchen in the terrain because I know they can walk through, but of course the cans can't. So I think I had them kind of go around this way, which sucks because they get stuck, right? And there's a 3 in a row here, and they can't always have good visibility. So I don't know if that's the best placement for cans to try to get the Gretchen screen, but I'm open to suggestions or whatever. Let me just send this back here so we don't so we can see the Gretchen involved here. Okay, so that was my move. I decided to keep these Gretchen here on the home objective just to generate CP. I probably should have been smarter and thought, do I get victory points off of this objective? But even so, I wanted the CP. I always end up having a Gretchen kind of stay in the home objective for that CP generation. I don't know if there's better value to move them ahead and make them um, capture points or screen or whatever. So interested in people's comments there. Okay, so that was basically my movement phase, shooting the bat. Oh, let me just send this back. The battle wagon here. I don't know. Took a couple shots at the propulsor. May have chipped a few things. Like no significant damage. Of course, there weren't any super strong guns on there. Anyway, so uh, that was it. So my turn was over. Next, my opponent came in. He was able to get this repulsor executioner to about here. We'll say kind of more in the middle there. This was 4 inches. It's on a base. I mean, I trusted my opponent, but I'm just curious if this would actually fit through here because it's on a base, and the base was narrow enough, but the chunky boy here model kind of barely fit. I think the repulsor maybe moved ahead or kind of stayed where it is. These Terminators, I'm sorry, they actually started behind here, but they moved into this terrain. These intercessors moved forward to there. Sorry, I can't remember if he had anything on this point or not. Hellblasters. So as are the Hellblasters, they moved into the terrain here. The heavy intercessors kind of moved in over here. So I think this was about right. The point being that everyone was in. These guys were in cover. These guys were in cover. These guys were a little bit ahead. For my opponent shooting phase. So for whatever reason, my opponent, who is a friend of mine I've played before, he really hates Gazgul. So he just went ham to try to blow this battle wagon no matter what. Was that smart or not smart? I don't know, but he had a personal vendetta. He wanted to execute it, so hey, go for it, man. But the long and short of it is the repulsor executioner, the terminators, the gladiator, like everything basically opened fire on this battle wagon. Now some people might say, oh hey, this terrain's in the way of the firing line here. Again, on the board there was definitely some shooting going on. There was lines of sight everywhere, so don't worry about that. But I did put the impervious stratagems, so I was so these guys shot, they maybe took a little bit of damage, nothing significant. The 12 toughness was really good. It when these intercessors shot it, it was then Auspex scanned, so there were some other kind of bonuses to hit and damage, whatever. So that kind of sucked as well. But the battle wagon at least did its job. It ate a lot of bullets, but unfortunately, it did end up dying. So I had to disembark Gaz and the boys, and then sorry, this truck was probably more like here. Um, unfortunately for me, I rolled the deadly demise, so this thing blew up, and this took a mortal, three mortals, or whatever. This took 3 mortals, whatever. So, you know, sucks for that guy. And then the 17 boys, I think a bunch of them, so it's probably down to like 14 or something. There we go, 14 boys. So yeah, that kind of sucked. And then I think the Hellblasters did some damage to the battle wagon here. Nothing, nothing too serious. Nothing there blew up. So my opponents, so that was the shooting phase. This was too far. I think he rolled a charge, but it failed, so there was no charges there, and then nothing else was really in range. So that was it. End of round one. Turn two, back to me. So I activated the walks. I figured this is probably my best time to take advantage of it. So first thing I did was unload all these vehicles because I wanted to try to get into some fighting. So the Big Mac and the Meganovs came out there. The 20 boys came out in front there. The flash gets stayed in the truck for some shooting. And yeah, so those guys came out, and then I totally forgot about the death copters. So they just kind of stayed in reserve for at least this turn. Okay, further movement. Basically, my cans moved up. I think my Gretchen moved up a bit here. These guys, I think, moved up a bit. These guys were able to clear this corner. And I'm going to put them there. They were not in the terrain, but they had good visibility, I think, to most of these units here. But they didn't actually quite make it to the terrain. I don't know where they Gretchen. I think they ended up more like here. This truck I brought ahead. So we could have line of sight to those intercessors, and these Gretchen stayed, and these guys. Oh, pardon me, I missed one thing. And then Gaz came out, and then these guys unloaded on Gaz, and unfortunately, Gaz, the 14 boys, did end up dying. So this point was open by that time. And actually, maybe I think this repulsor may have just towed in on the first turn, on my opponent's turn, right on there. So he was taking that objective. Okay, so shooting, took some shots here. A couple of intercessors died. Whatever, no big deal. These guys, my Mega Knobs had twin kill saws, so no shooting. Big Mac may have put one wound on the repulsor, whatever. Okay, so more interesting here. Truck with these flash kits, they targeted these intercessors and they freaking lit up on the firing deck. So ended up getting after the wound roll, there was 10 wounds with 2 damage each going to the intercessors, and then these guys were obliterated. I think the lieutenant was left, but the unit was just totally blasted away. Both these cans then opened up on the Terminators in cover here. Even in the cover, these guys managed to roll pretty decently, and they took out maybe not all the Terminators, but maybe like half, maybe like 5, or maybe there was like four left, 5 left. I can't remember, but yeah, they did a good number on those Terminators here. Oh, and sorry, one other thing I mentioned, I moved these guys in to get a good position here. This truck, I moved in advance to about here. It was actually rotated. Can I do this? Yeah. I rotated this way because I wanted to score some mortals on this repulsor executioner with tank shock. I figure that's a good way to maybe get like another probably 3 or 4 mortals on a high toughness vehicle. Oh yes, and then I ended up getting these guys were kind of like, I guess, more in here. I came up on the side. Oh no, that was in the charge phase, pardon me. Yeah, I think these guys moved ahead to also kind of get ready for a big charge. Okay, so that was pretty much all the shooting. Again, some of these guys, nothing really else interesting happened except these guys getting obliterated, these guys taking a lot of hits. And then it was charge phase. So then these guys, the Megadovs charged in, truck charged in. I think it only ended up doing maybe like 2 or 3 mortals. Sorry, these guys were more like here. And then the boys, let me send this back. Send it back. The boys came in, they rolled good charges on both. They were able to charge both units because they were like, these guys were basically touching each other. So wanted to get in there, and then I rolled a good charge here to come on the side for some more melee. Now, where'd my point go? That was actually kind of stupid because hold on here. This is okay, so this point was probably oh boy, I really mucked this up because this point was further back, and then as a result of me charging, I was on the point, and I charged. I was no longer on the point, and so that was mistake number 1. I probably should have kept this back here to at least stay on the point But I don't know, I was in the Wa, I was in Bloodlust mode, so I just wanted to kill things as much as possible. And I think it was, oh yeah, and then okay, so fight phase, these guys got pretty wrecked. These guys, I think I had like, I split the fights, I think maybe 16 boys and the boss fought these Hell Blasters and did a pretty good number on them. They weren't quite destroyed, but quite a few of them were. I think there's maybe one left or two left with Azrael. And then I think the remaining boys were going to fight these heavy intercessors. And I think they took out a reasonable number for the number of boys that were there. Unfortunately, we had to call it kind of at this point. So I didn't get to roll the big fight here with the Big Mac and the Meganobs either. And of course, I was out of charge range here. So yeah, that was kind of the way the match went. I'm gonna say it was a draw because I think at this point, my opponent didn't get to go for his turn in round two. Secondly, I'm not confident that I would have been ahead enough to say if we played this through, I would have won the victory. This point was pretty much firmly in my control. This point, I think we probably could have cleaned these up reasonably well. So I would like to say there's a pretty good chance I would have had this point as well for the rest of the game. This point was probably, this would have been the turning point. This would have been where we would have to kind of play it out and see, would I be successful taking out this executioner? And then remember there was a bunch of dudes in there as well. They would have emerged as well and probably could have fought back, whatever, and maybe cleaned up a lot of these. Who knows here? So yeah, so that's how the match played out. So a couple things I'm curious about, or a couple things I think I could have done better. So first I said I chose to go first instead of second, just because I wanted to get on those points. I wanted to try to take some territory. I thought maybe that was a mistake because it didn't really lead me to get into good charges or anything until turn 2, which I guess is normal, but it did take a lot of shooting, and maybe if I went second, I could have uh, got in here. If he would have advanced, I could have got in here and maybe got some charges and not taken that shooting. So I don't know. But then at the same time, had I not done that, I don't know. Maybe would have got blown off the board. I can't remember. But anyways, that's how it was. What else do I think I would have changed? So yeah, I think I would have stayed on the point there. These guys, maybe I would have moved ahead again, not really understanding the whether or not this objective counts. And then I think lastly, oh, the can placement here again. I don't know. I was ultimately worried about these things getting blasted by these lancers. Oh, that was it. Because I went first, I probably could have deployed a little bit more aggressively, knowing that I would have moved and maybe gotten some better positioning instead of hiding back here. Like, why hide when you have first move? Because I could have been up here and like been able to get further ahead. So I think that's something you need to remind. If I am going first, I could probably deploy, or I guess I wouldn't know that because we roll that after deployment. So yeah, never mind about that. No, I would have chose to go second. So we rolled, but I get to choose. I would have chose to go second. Is that how it is? I can't remember. And then I think the other thing was what I should have done with this battle wagon when Gaz was in it when full, and all the boys were alive. I think that there's a strat where you can move this and then you use the strat, and then everyone can come out, and then they're still eligible to charge. So I think either I could have used that. I think maybe if I'm remembering it correctly, the other one was the other strat I should have used was when this was getting lit up, when this battle egg was getting lit up by every frickin' vehicle on the planet. There was a point where I think the repulsor executioner, it still had like 3 wounds left on it. I probably should have used that strat where you can um eject, what's it called? You use in trouble now, where you after the hit you can take all your dudes out. Um so I could have done that. I would have maybe got them on the board and been able to do some stuff. But then I thought, well, this thing blew up anyways with the deadly demise. So that would have just been more mortals on whatever. So excuse me. Yeah, not sure on that one. Um anyways, good match. First time I played this detachment. I don't know if I'm sold on it. The detachment rule I think is very situational. I was looking forward to being able to use that to really get some good advances and charges in. Unfortunately, when I deployed out of the transports, when I disembarked, pardon me, but as it turned out, I rolled everything perfectly what I needed anyways, so didn't need that, which to me seems like kind of a wasted detachment rule if compared to other detachments. When it's just, oh, when you disembark, you get to roll. I think there's maybe more interesting ways to do it, but what do I know? And I'm hoping I played this detachment correctly, which was just be aggressive, get the vehicles in there as fast as possible, and just barf the dudes out and start fighting. So we'll never know. Anyways, I don't know how long this video is. 30 minutes. So if you listen to me ramble for 30 minutes on this, thank you, appreciate it. Do leave me some feedback and comments on the quality of this video. Maybe it's good, maybe it sucks. Or just in general, what I could have done differently for deployment or movement or other suggestions, because I'm genuinely curious. All right, have a nice evening and thanks again.